And you competing against kids who are being great all across the country, because there's a recruiting coach for Fort Lauderdale, South Florida, and then there's a recruiting coach for Alabama. He telling those defensive backs in Alabama how great they are too. And there's another one over here telling everybody how great they are for Fort Lauderdale, Miami. But then they all go back to the board, and they put all these great names on the board, right? And when it comes to reality, they can only take maybe one or two of those great names, right? But if you have your academics where it needs to be, it may give you an edge over one of the great names who don't have the academics. But then, if you're not one of the great that they chose to come to their school, to make that real offer to come to their school, your academics open up other doors for you. You can be great somewhere else. So ultimately, who has to be great? You. And they don't have to tell you that you're great. You have to go out every day feeling like you're great, and you're going to do well academically, you're going to do well athletically, and you ultimately make the final decision on where you end up. But if you want to be in the driver's seat, if you really truly want to be in the driver's seat, you have to have the academics to go along with it. You have to. You have to. Yes, sir.
It's one of the pieces that Justin brought up, and I was glad that you brought it up, and we are extremely proud of you. Justin's resilience. And he said that, they were pulling me out of the class to talk to me, and then I'd be missing stuff in class. And then I have to go back and figure out what that is from an academic standpoint. That's the piece that you all have to understand, is that you have to put that effort from an academic standpoint to be able to put yourself in a position where you're getting the best possible offers that you can get from an academic standpoint. It requires effort. It requires wanting to be great academically. You all should want to be great academically, regardless of what you do socially. Be great academically. Put the effort in that I'm going to be the best that I can be in the classroom. That's what requires the most, being the best in the classroom. And I'm glad that Justin made that a priority, that I have to be the best in the classroom. And at the football piece, he's in the state league, he's a good safety, he does what he does, and that's natural because he's put that time in. But from an academic standpoint, he put just as much effort into being great from an academic piece.
I want to add something too, not to put any additional pressure on you guys, but I remember Justin was talking one time before when you got into an honor society or something, right? Exactly. So, there's academics and there's athletics if you play, but if you don't play athletics, man, you need extracurricular activities. You understand what I'm saying? You got to be involved in these clubs and things because, I'll tell you, man, we on April 23rd, we're having this thing where all these black kids who have gotten in the U.S., they got in, and now we're trying to get them to go. So we got to convince them why it is they should want to come to our school versus going to other schools. And understand one big piece of getting into any school, man, is that you have to be a well-rounded person. You know what I mean? Like he was saying, they're looking at his son saying, we want this kind of person in our school. What happens is people aren't looking at you for who you are now, right? They're looking at an 18-year-old, but they're not looking at you for now. They're looking at who you're going to be when you graduate from that program and how it is they get to brag on you or what it is you're going to be able to bring back to the school. You see what I mean? So they want to be able to look at you as a person and say, you know what? Okay, this kid is smart, but guess what? If all these kids, and there are kids who can't get into schools that have straight A's, but that's all they got. You see what I'm saying? They got straight A's, but guess what? They're not in no club. There's nothing of their personality. They're on a piece of paper. Then you got kids that got strong B's, but guess what? They're in this club, and they're involved in this, and they're showing that they're a well-rounded person. And I'm going to tell you, man, at the end of the day, you have to be, every brother here tell you, man, you can't be any one thing. You understand what I'm saying? The brother's telling you now, you got to be everything to everybody damn near all the time. You know what I mean? So your academics got to be there, your athletics have to be there, and everything else has to be there, man. You are, before somebody ever meets you, Justin's lucky because he plays sport. Guess what? People come to meet him as a recruit, right? Everybody else, you're a piece of paper. You're going to send in an application. They're going to see a bunch of stuff on a piece of paper, and somebody that you never met may get an opportunity to decide your future on what they see. So what you going to let them see? That goes back to what we started with, the essays, right? One thing you got to do to get into a school is you got to write an essay. So what is this person who's never going to meet you, don't know where you come from, what is it you're going to tell them in 2 pages about you that's going to make them say, you know what, I want this kid in our school. In 4 years when they graduate, I know that they're going to be somebody great, and that's why I want them here now. You understand? So gentlemen, I understand it's a lot of pressure. And I got
got two boys, I'm on them all the time. And guess what? The pressure ain't nothing new. Your daddy went through the pressure you went through. I went through the pressure my boys are going through. It is what it is, gentlemen. And it's a hard pressure because you black men. But here's the best part about it. You are
Like me.
rare. You see what I'm saying? You're rare. And it's unfortunate that less than 50% of you will graduate from high school. But guess what? Once you do that, you're in a small pool. You see what I'm saying? So if you got everything else, bro, the truth of the matter is they want you because they gotta have you. You see what I'm saying? Give them a reason to kiss your butt. I didn't have none of that wonderful athletic stuff, but guess what? They were on me all the time too, pulling me out of class. You see what I'm saying? Not as much because they don't want to mess with my grades, right? But you know what? Same thing, bro. Oh, here's some money. Here's some money. Come here. You know what? Because you're a smart black kid, and we got a school of 80,000 freaking white people, and we need you to give us some color. You see what I'm saying? All day, every day. So make no doubt, make no mistake, gentlemen. You have what it takes to get everywhere you want to be. You just need to realize that. And just like they